can't get it to record. How do you know it's
What?
working?
Dang, girl, just hit fucking record button, man. Ain't rocket science.
You could just help me, Shizzo. I mean, is that really asking too much? I did cook dinner.
It is recording. Look at the fucking light. Shit.
It's not the way I prefer doing things. But I'm tired of being teased, and today my journal got caked in mud anyway, so I guess this is what we're doing. I'm not even sure why I'm doing it.
Oh, girl, do it. Don't do it. I don't give a
She
fuck.
said that's
No
not
big
what I
deal.
meant.
I do it just to keep things fresh in my mind and
Don't
shit.
get it.
And have a record of shit that I've gone through, you know what I'm saying?
Guess he's not wrong, though.
Yo, I ain't never wrong.
Can you please not? I am trying to have a private conversation with myself over here.
Yeah, whatever.
Shizzo, are you still there? Thank goodness. I desperately needed a moment to myself. I want my journal. It's one of the few things that keeps me sane some days. It's like that last little reminder, I guess, of who I used to be. Not that anyone cares. No one's gonna be like listening to this one day. I don't know, maybe some like alien archaeologist, if that's ever a thing. Anyway, I need it. I need this. I need to still feel like me, and this is me. This is what I do. Yes, even if it's still me that's struggling. Okay, where to start? Shiza and I were good for a long while, but that whole thing the other day with the people at Cushville, I can't help it. I just feel rattled. And I would say, it's not like I haven't been in my fair share of squabbles or whatever the right word is. That's just really not true. I mean, to Shizo's credit, I guess, my detriment, I stayed pretty well sheltered from the worst of things. And yeah, I used to question why he wouldn't let me get involved with whatever was going on at Pleasant Valley. But now, I guess it was because of moments like this. And on one hand, yeah, I want to wring his neck for putting me in the situation in the first place. I followed him. I listened to him. My face still hurts. Of course, he didn't do that, but thank you, Frank. On the other hand, yeah, he's probably spared me more times than I even know from similar situations. Whether I want to admit it or not, he's a good man, but he's also probably going to get me killed. Today he even asked me if I trusted him, accused me of not trusting him. And honestly, do I? I mean, how can you trust anybody anymore? I want to. I hope that counts. Anyway, enough of that. I got to tell about today because it was such a long day. Okay, where to start? I already said that, didn't I? I'm saying it again. Where to start? We decided to go back to Cushville today, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried about just walking back in there. I don't really care what that Hans and Frank guy told us. I mean, they said we'd be safe, but I don't ever feel safe. Anyway, we got about halfway to the city, and we catch sight of this guy just like running through a field, mowing down infected. And yeah, I'm thinking that's a real big waste of bullets, but they're not my bullets, so do what you want to do. Worse than that, though, it just draws way too much attention, and not just from the infected, but just people. Who wants to draw the attention of either? So I guess the kid had a death wish. Anyway, he catches sight of us, and it was just nearly like Cushville all over again. Guy with a red armband yelling at us to put our guns down or he'll shoot. Thankfully, much to my surprise, this time Shizzo actually got control of things, and both of them even ended up trading. So I guess that's a good thing. Anyway, the kid, Blaze, just ran off his way, and we kept going towards Cushville with a few arguments along the way. Shizzo wanted to go in with not like a show of like full on force or whatever, but at least, scoping the place out again and walking back in, toting guns. But that's what happened the other day, right? And I don't know, but I just lost it. And I told him I was not going in like that again, just not doing it. Like I said, face still hurts. And you know what? At that moment, I did not care what he thought of me. If they shoot me, they shoot me, was all that was going through my head as I walked over to Hans's shop with my water bottle tight in my hand, still sipping away so I didn't start puking again. Lord. If my English teachers heard the way I'm talking and writing these days. But, I guess it's a good thing that nobody really cares about grammar anymore, huh? Anyway. Unfortunately, even with all my bravado, it was wasted. Nobody was even home to see it. The streets were completely deserted, save for a few infected milling about. So we just ducked into an abandoned house close by because neither of us was feeling very good. Definitely not feeling like taking on infected. Which, oh yeah, by the way, apparently whatever I have is contagious. So, sorry, Shizzo. It never really meant for us to both end up feeling like garbage. But anyway, I had seen a flyer for this place in some town called Stonington that trades medical supplies. So we decided it was time to start back out of town and go see what we could find along the way. And lo and behold, we run into one of Shizzo's friends from Pleasant Valley. Some guy named James who seemed pretty happy to see Shizzo. And of course, when he realized that we weren't looking so great, he took us back to his apartment because apparently he's one of the Italians now. And I thought, his friend might be able to change his perspective on the group, but it didn't. Not at all. And yeah, it wasn't long before he was sharing the whole story with James and this girl, Alex, who showed up, and this guy, Alex, who showed up, which Shizzo refers to them as good Alex and bad Alex. Whatever. Anyway, so I just sat there listening to them all talk after James brought us down some medicine, and I finally just had enough. I'm sitting there with the worst stomach cramps, and it was making me, a little bit irritable. So I just very bluntly asked James where he got the meds from. Before he came downstairs, Shizzo was over here talking about just, taking all of his meds from him. But forgive me if he can hear me. I thought that was one of the dumbest of all plans. I mean, what is the point in taking maybe 1 or 2 pills when you could find out, where an actual doctor or hospital's located? And yeah, I know, maybe those are crazy thoughts. Maybe those things don't exist anymore. But it turns out he should have listened to me all along. Thank you very much. Sorry, back to my story. So, Bad Alex suggested that we go to the settlement called Green Mountain, where, like I said before, there's an actual doctor. And then good Alex and James agreed that they would even go so far as taking us there. And man, when we got there, I have never been so happy to see people. No one shoved guns in our faces or threatened to shoot us. And it was great. Okay, maybe I'm being silly, but it was nice. Anyway, so we spoke to this man called Marshall who brought us in and got us some medicine, and then he introduced us to this other guy named Kent and a guy named Chief. And, Chief, poor guy couldn't even talk. He apparently had a run-in with some Russian bandits. I think probably the same ones that the folks over in Cushville have been having trouble with. But he had his mouth all wired shut. He looked bad. I felt terrible. So they gave us a minute to just sit and rest. And while we were talking, guess what? Yep. You know what I'm going to say. Shizzo brought up the Italians again. And man, when Kent heard about me getting hit, yeah, he did not take that well at all. And I mean, I'm the woman in the story. Of course, I'm against, violence to women. But this guy, this guy was, forgive my language, pissed off. Okay, maybe that's not strong language, but whatever. Anyway, they were pretty surprised about everything we were telling them about what had happened. Well, they were pretty surprised about everything Shizzo was telling them, but I gave them the rest of the story that Shizzo had been leaving out, telling them that, we finally decided it was just a misunderstanding because, I mean, they'd been dealing with bandits that were hurting and stealing from their people. And I'm not saying that Frank should have hit me, but I can understand his mindset. He's got a settlement to protect, people that depend on him. Kent, however, still wasn't having it. But at least he didn't keep arguing the point, so everything calmed down. All in all, the day was eventful, yes, but I don't know. I just felt like I'm ending it far different than I started it. Like I have this hopeful feeling. Yeah, you heard me. Hopeful. And I think it's really because of Alex. Or good Alex. She was talking about how before everything ended with the world, that she had lost her job and talking about her struggles. But then I heard her talking about what she's doing now. She's learning how to become a tailor. I mean, she has a job here in the apocalypse. And she sounded pretty happy about it. So maybe that's what's really wrong with me. I'm not sinking into depression. I just need a purpose. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end this. It's time to start looking for a purpose.